Turn on the water.
Don't turn it on.
On the field.
Alright, folks, as you know, a week ago was the Oscars. A week ago or so, I don't know when this is getting posted. A week ago or so was the 96 Academy Awards. I'm not going to talk about it because everybody's already talked about it. And, you know, I'm more interested in talking about what I consider to be the best of the year rather than those dorks and snobs and people who shouldn't be lecturing us about things. Okay, so I am going to go to my letterbox, which is Sydney Nilumet Sucks, because he does. And I have, before I spoil things, I do 31 categories opposed to the Academy's 23 because there are other things I think that need recognition. And I'm going to try to go through it as fast as I can because that is a lot. Maybe we'll have to divide this up, but I'll try to get it into one. And this is me trying to be as objective as I can, as I possibly can. I know it's not quite possible. There's always going to be some element of subjectivity into this, and I acknowledge that, but I am trying to be objective. And sometimes there's 5 noms, and sometimes there's 10. 10 when categories are ones that I really appreciate or really liked about filmmaking and cinema and all that stuff. And it's ranked. So if number 1 will be what I consider the best, and number 5 or 10, the 5th best or 10th best of that category. So without further ado, let's do this. So number 1, best opening credits. Let me just, maybe, do I need to zoom so you guys don't, okay, well, I don't like the way that looks. All right, best opening credits. This is, just the credit sequence. So number 1 is Skinamarink because it looked so old-fashioned. 2, Master Gardener with all the flowers. 3, the train going through the town or city, whatever. 4, showing up with the artworks and the drawings and stuff. 5, Infinity Pool with the bold colors and the bold fonts was fun. All right, best opening scene. I consider the scene that takes place before the credits drop, or at least the title card. So number 1 is Evil Dead Rise. 2 is Barbie. 3 is Inside. 4 is Talk to Me. 5, is Beau is Afraid, which I think was the birthing sequence. All right, best action sequences, the thing people want instead of best casting. What a middle finger to people who wanted best stunts to be recognized. And, oh, you did a 2-minute video. Nobody cares about the best casting. Anyway, it's another video, I guess. Rant. Okay. Number 1. And best action sequences, it includes car chases, fights, gunfights, and things of that nature. Anything like that. So it's very broad. So number 1 is John Wick 4. Number 2 is Fast 10. 3 is Tom Cruise 7. 4 is Dungeons & Dragons. 5 is Sisu. Now next is fight choreography. This is the only one I get specific for with action sequences because I'm partial to fight choreography. I love Kung Fu. So I just wanted to give specific credit to fight choreographers and choreography. Number 1, John Wick 4. 2, Dungeons & Dragons. 3, Creed 3. 4, Rebel Moon. 5, The Iron Claw. Alright, now we're to the Academy categories for a while. Best visual effects with a snub from the Oscars was Oppenheimer. That's my number 1. 2, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Love or hate them. Their CGI looks pretty good. 3, Rebel Moon, Shadow of Fire. 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 5, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Yeah, Godzilla's not on there. I know. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, alright? So it breaks my heart I didn't put it on there because not everything about that looked great. There's some, when the explosions get really close to the camera or Godzilla gets really close to the camera, sometimes it was pretty pixelated, you could see. Oh, excuse me. Best film editing, I have 10 noms because I like film editing and editing or whatever. So, it's one of my favorite things about movies. Number 1 is Oppenheimer. 2 is Killers of the Flower Moon. 3, Linoleum. 4 is Creed 3. 5 is The Killer. 6 is Magic Mike's Last Dance. 7 is Perfect Days. 8 is Full Circle. 9 is Infinity Pool. 10 is The Promised Land. Alright, best costume design. Number 1, Killers of the Flower Moon. Number 2, The Promised Land. 3, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. 4, Rebel Moon, Child of Fire. 5, Priscilla. Best makeup and hairstyling. Killers of the Flower Moon, number 1. Number 2 is Maestro. Should have won out of those categories at the Oscars. 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 4, Oppenheimer. 5, Priscilla. I don't know if Guardians should count. Like, I know, at least for the first one, they did a lot of the makeup. Now I don't know if they just do it digitally now. I don't know. So if it is digital, let me know with Dave Bautista's character, with Zoe Saldana's character, and whatnot. If they just do that digitally, I'm going to have to take that off. Alright, Best Cinematography. One of the best things about films is the way they look, so I have 10 noms. 1 is Oppenheimer, 2 is Killers of the Flower Moon, 3 is El Conde, 4 is Creed 3, 5 is Linoleum, 6 is Perfect Days, 7 is Magic Mike's Last Dance, 8 is Maestro, 9 is Infinity Pool, 10 is The Promised Land. 10, next is Best Production Design. Number 1, Killers of the Flower Moon, 2, Barbie, 3, Beau is Afraid, 4, Oppenheimer, 5, Priscilla. You know what? I just realized I watched Poor Things the other day and I didn't update it. So actually, I would take off Priscilla for Best Costume Design and put Poor Things at number... I would actually put it at number 3. So Dungeons and Dragons would be 4 and Rebel Moon would be 5. I wouldn't put it for makeup because it didn't deserve it. Production design... I can see why it won, but I'm not going to put it in my top 5. It would be tied with Priscilla, I guess. So I do production design 5, Poor Things / Priscilla. Alright, next are the sound categories. They used to do this separately at the Oscars till they combined it, which I didn't mind, to be honest. But I'm not a sound guy, so... Alright, and I define this differently. So best sound mixing, in my personal Oscars, is literally the mixing of sounds. So the combining of sounds to get a new sound. So for example, Jurassic Park, they used... like a lion or a tiger and an elephant to get part of the T-Rex, so that kind of thing. So number 1 is 65, 2 is Transformers Rise of the Beast, 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 4 is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, 5 Rebel Moon Child of Fire. Now any of these 5 could probably be switched around at any given time. However, I am partial to Transformers because I just love the way the sounds. So maybe that should be number 1. Say what you want about those movies. Those sounds are pretty neat, and you can, if you're in the theater, you can kind of hear it all over the place. Pretty cool. Okay, best sound editing. So for me, best sound editing is the use of space to make the sound move and stuff, and where it comes from and all that jazz. So number 1 is Oppenheimer. I am probably not being objective with this because I just love the way it made the seats rumble like crazy, like no other movie has ever done before. And 2, The Zone of Interest. 3, The Killer. 4, Creed 3. 5, Tom Cruise 7. Now, there's kind of a specific criteria for sound editing for me. You have to see it in the theaters because that's the best way to experience the use of sound throughout the space. Now, you can do that with surround sound at your home. So for me, I'm trying to only put movies that I saw in theaters for this or use my surround sound system for it. And the only one I use my surround sound system for is The Killer. So, just a little FYI. Alright, Best Original Score gets 10 noms because I love music. Even film music I love. I'll listen to it leisurely. So number 1 is Oppenheimer. 2, The Boy and the Heron. 3, Copenhagen Cowboy. Any of those can be rearranged at any given time whenever I listen to them. 4, The Killer. 5, Linoleum. 6, Full Circle. 7, Beau is Afraid. 8, Infinity Pool. 9, Killers of the Flower Moon. 10, Magic Mike's Last Dance. Alright, next, I have to explain again, is Best Fake Movie, aka documentaries. I don't really watch a whole lot of these. As you can see, there's only 4. There's not even 5 because these are the only 4 I watched. Only 2 of them are documentaries. The other 2 are stand-up specials, which I do consider documentaries because they are documenting nights of a comic doing stand-up on stage live. And I only watched 2 of those, so that's why those 2 are on there. So without further ado, these are just the 4 I watched. And so they're all there by default. Gunther's Millions, Chowchilla, Chris Rock Outrage for Jim Gaffigan, Dark Tale. Foreign flick. Movies made not in English. Since I'm English speaking, I'm going to consider that foreign. If I was, Icelandic, I would say anything other than Iceland would be foreign flicks, Alright. So number 1 is The Promised Land from Denmark. Number 2 is El Conde from Chile. Number 3 is Perfect Days from Germany and Japan. 4, Godzilla -1 from Japan. 5, The Boy and the Heron from Japan. Japan reigns supreme. Okay, it's the dawn of the Jap. Or the year of the Jap, I should say. Okay, Best Animated Film, The Boy and the Heron, number 1. Number 2 is Pokemon Concierge. 3 Elemental, 4 Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, 5 the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now the first 2 would only be on there. The other 3 I just are there by default because they're the only other 3 I saw from this year, I think. I just had to fill that category up. And since I love writing, I got Best Adapted and Best Original Screenplay with 10 noms each. So number 1 for Best Adapted is Killers of the Flower Moon. Criminal that wasn't nominated, especially considering how many other noms it had the Oscars. And I can't believe they nominated Barbie over Killers of the Flower Moon, a Scorsese movie. Now say what you want about how much you love Barbie's sets and costumes and makeup, about the themes and stuff and the acting. The plot made no sense and it was so freaking stupid. Okay, anyway. Number 2, Landscape with Invisible Hand. 3, The Promised Land. 4, The King Mutiny Court Martial. 5, The Killer. 6, Leave the World Behind. 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 8, Oppenheimer. 9, Priscilla. 10, The Zone of Interest. Okay, Best Original Screenplay. Number 1. So I don't consider sequels adapted screenplays like the Academy did. I think with Before Sunset and Before Midnight were adapted screenplays just because they were sequels. Toy Story 3 was listed as adapted because it was a sequel. I'm not about that. Unless it's based on a book. It's only adapted if it's based on a book, graphic novel, comic book, play, song, something like that. If it's just a sequel, or if it's a remake, I would consider that adapted, I guess. But if it's a spin-off or a sequel, no, that's not adapted. So number 1, I have Creed 3. Number 2, Dream Scenario. 3, The Holdovers. 4, El Conde. 5, Linoleum. 6, Master Gardener. 7, Full Circle. 8, Perfect Days. 9, May December. And 10, Showing Up. Alright, so we're going to go back to categories that I personally do over the Oscars. Best Voice Acting. Number 1, Bradley Cooper for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 2, Jack Black for the Super Mario Brothers movie. 3, Asim Chaudhry for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, who is Teefs. 4, Masaki Suda for The Boy and the Heron. 5, Thandwi Newton for Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Number 5, Best Ensemble Performance. They should do that instead of casting if they're not going to do stunts. Okay, guess the BAFTAs do it. It's not whatever. Number 1, Killers of the Flower Moon. 2, Oppenheimer. 3, Showing Up. 4, Creed 3. 5, The Iron Claw. Alright, Best Breakthrough Performance. This is first time actors or first time in a supporting role or leading role. So, number 1, Dominic Sessa in The Holdovers. 2, Angela Badovalik in Copenhagen Cowboy. 3, Lily Zhang in Copenhagen Cowboy. 4, Andreas Like Jorgensen in Copenhagen Cowboy. 5, Joe Bird in Talk to Me. Alright, I'm a big fan of acting and actors and actresses, so the rest of the acting categories have 10 noms. Number 1, Caitlin Nason in Linoleum. 2, Hong Chow in Showing Up. 3, Julianne Moore in May December. 4, Carrie Coon in Boston Strangler. 5, Amanda Collin in The Promised Land. 6, Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. 7, Lily Stone Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon. Yes, she's supporting. 8, Sigourney Weaver in Master Gardener. 9, Paula Lushinger in El Conde. 10, Mayala Harold in Leave the World Behind. Okay, supporting actor. Best. I don't know why I did that. Number 1, Separate the Art from the Artist. Jonathan Majors in Creed 3. 2, Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon. 3, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. 4, Charles Melton in May December. 5, Simon Benenberg in The Promised Land. 6, Dominic Sessa in The Holdovers. 7, John Magaro in Past Lives. 8, Teo Yu in Past Lives. 9, Ryan Gosling in Barbie. I loved how he played it like a villain in a Disney Channel original kids movie. Great. 10, Chris Cooper in Boston Strangler. He's great even when he's not trying. Kinda like Carrie Coon too. Okay. Best Leading Actress. Number 1, snubbed, Greta Lee in Past Lives. 2, Michelle Williams in Showing Up. 3, Salma Hayek in Magic Mike's Last Dance. 4, Julia Louis-Dreyfus in You Hurt My Feelings. 5, Laurie Metcalf in Somewhere in Queens. 6, Carey Mulligan in Maestro. 7, Margot Robbie, not snubbed, in Barbie. 8, Natalie Portman in May December. 9, Keira Knightley in Boston Strangler. 10, Angela Bundelovic in Copenhagen Cowboy. Alright, Best Leading Actor. Number 1, even though he was too old for it, like he is for a lot of things, Leonardo DiCaprio in Killers of the Flower Moon, if you know what I mean. 2, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. 3, Bradley Cooper in Maestro. 4, Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3. 5, Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario. 6, Alexander Skarsgård in Infinity Pool. 7, Ray Romano in Somewhere in Queens. 8, Koji Yakusho in Perfect Days. 9, Channing Tatum in Magic Mike's Last Dance. 10, Jane Vidal in On Conde. Yes, you noticed that Cillian Murphy is not in there. Alright, so for Best scene, it's unranked because I can't really remember every scene from every movie, so these probably aren't even the 10 best scenes. These are just what I could think of at the time when I made this the other day. And so it's listed alphabetically, and it could change anytime I rewatch any of these movies or watch new ones. So at the top is Bo's Forest Vision, Bo is Afraid. C, Carmencita's First Flight in El Conde. 3, Final Flight in Creed 3. Ginza Attack, Godzilla -1. Home Invasion from Infinity Pool. 6, The Shotgun Mayhem from John Wick 4. 7, Nora's Date from the Linoleum. Mahler's Second Symphony from Maestro. The Trinity Test from Oppenheimer. And the last one is Riley's Turn from Talk to Me. Alright, I don't know why I do this category next, but I do. Best Streaming Service Original. Number 1, Killers of the Flower Moon from Apple TV. 2, El Conde from Netflix. May December from Netflix. Number 3, 4, Full Circle from HBO Max. 5, The Killer from Netflix. Now next is Best Debut Film. So first time feature-length directors. Number 1, Michael B. Jordan for Creed 3. 2, Miles Warren for Bruiser. 3, Danny and Michael Philippou for Talk to Me. 4, Ray Romano for Somewhere in Queens. 5, Kyle Edward Ball for Skin of Marink. And I've been hiding, as you know, I'm not showing you the list because we're going to Best Director and Best Picture, and I don't want you to sneak peek at that. So for Best Director and Best Picture, we're going to go backwards from 10 to 1. Both these categories have 10. I Love Directing and Best Pictures have 10 nominees, as they should nowadays. So, all right. So, Best Director. Number 10, Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. Number 9, Colin West for Linoleum. Number 8, Brandon Cronenberg for Infinity Pool. 7, Christopher Borgli for Dream Scenario. 6, Celine Song for Past Lives. 5, Vim Vendors for Perfect Days. 4, Pablo Larraín for El Conde. 3, Michael B. Jordan for Creed 3. 2, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. 1, Christopher Nolan, predictably for Oppenheimer. Sorry about it. Alright, and then let's go to Best Picture. And I have the wins and noms here. So with 0 wins, 4 nominations, number 10 is The Zone of Interest. Number 9 with 0 wins and 7 nominations is Perfect Days. Number 8 with 0 wins and 9 nominations is El Conde. And number 7 with 0 wins but 4 nominations, because it made those 4 count, is Dream Scenario. 6 with 1 win and 8 nominations is Linoleum. Number 5 is with 1 win and 6 nominations, The Holdovers. Number 4 with 1 win but 8 nominations is The Promised Land. Now here's where we get a little juicier. Number 3 with 3 wins and 12 nominations is Creed 3 from 2023. A lot of 3s there. Number 2 with 6 wins and 13 nominations is Oppenheimer. And number 1 with 8 wins and 14 nominations, the best film in my opinion, as objectively as I can, from 2023 is Killers of the Flower Moon. Now I hope that was a little more climactic than Al Pacino's reveal of Best Picture, but there you have it. This could be updated any given time as I rewatch these, watch new ones I didn't get a chance to see. So if you're like, why wasn't this on there? It's either I didn't see it or I don't agree with you. I update this constantly, as well as other years. I have tons of other years. You can look if you go and follow me on Letterboxd. And that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Why are there so many movies?